Hello everybody, Cryo here. I've got an update to an old Elementalist build, the Celestial Structured PvP build. I've made some changes to it recently that add in defense and reduce offense, sadly. Both options are still viable. The previous one does work. This is just a more defensive option that often helps more with your team because when you have more defense, you can help support your teammates better. So let's get to the traits. There's not a whole lot to change, but there is a few important things. First off, took 20 points, 4 points out of fire, put them in water. In water, we're taking Cleansing Wave and Cleansing Water. This only actually gives us 2 more condition clears every 10 seconds, but that is substantial because every 10 seconds, 2 condition clears doesn't seem like that much, but it really, really finishes off all of the conditions that we would have. Being that we have Magnetic Wave and Cleansing Fire, plus the condition clear from dodge rolling and water attunement, that's about 3 condition clears every 10 seconds by itself. If you add 2 more from here and here, that's 5 condition clears every 10 seconds. You're pretty much immune to conditions. When you use the abilities correctly, you're pretty much immune to conditions. That's what it comes down to. So the other trait change is Elemental Shielding. We picked this over Earth's Embrace because we're no longer relying on cantrips for our sustain. Before we were using cantrips to sustain our might, but we're not going to be doing that anymore, and as such we will have lower might generation, but we will still have the ability to get 25 stacks of might. Not as common anymore, but you can still reach that if you have correct use of Fire Shield. So here we take Elemental Shielding because it gives us almost permanent protection uptime. When you're switching in and out of Earth Attunement quickly and you're using both the auras, the Shocking Aura here and the Fire Aura here, plus it actually procs on the aura you get from putting down a fire field and then using your Leap Finisher and Earth Attunement. When you use all those together correctly, you're going to get a lot of might, you're going to get a lot of burning on your foe, and you're going to have high protection uptime. So using those combos effectively is very, very important. More so now than in the other build. We changed to Soothing Wave here, whereas we had Cantrip Mastery before because we were using 4 cantrips. It was very effective for that, but now we're changing to more Condi Clear and more regen. 4 seconds every 10 seconds of regen and 6.5 seconds every 10 seconds. Used perfectly, that is 100% regen uptime, but that's not really going to happen practically, so it's around 80% regen uptime, which is still very good, considering we also still have the 100% Soothing Mist uptime. One of the greatest advantage of switching out of fire, though, is Healing Ripple. That's every 10 seconds, another 1,600 health, not only for you, but for all of your teammates. That's a lot of healing. That's, on average, 160 health per second that you could be getting out of this one trait. That's half your healing skill. That's really more than half your healing skill, actually. That's really, really big. We haven't changed anything in Arcane. This all remains the same. All of our runes, amulet, and sigils, those all remain the same as well. So it's just those few trait changes to give us more defense, more condition clear, and more protection overall. So if you're finding it difficult to survive using the other build, or you have enough damage already, or you want to be more team supportive, this is the build you should run for that. Now let's get on to the gameplay footage, showing how to use this build and a few duels that just give you an idea of how it works. This is a duel versus a conditioned necromancer. He's running spectral skills and a spectral build so that he can generate a lot of life force, which saves him so much health. I have to immediately pop Condi Clear, and I use my Glyph of Elemental Power in Fire Attunement, assuming that he's going to throw the conditions that I use back at me, which he will do as much as he can. That's the one that I'm going to be able to remove, and it will do the most damage while it's on him, so that's the one I decide to use. One thing I'm really trying to do here is get behind him and weave back and forth through him, because a lot of his skills have casting times, which means that if I get behind him when the cast would finish, it will cancel the cast. So I'm trying to get close when I can and move behind him to cancel his casts. I'm watching for those as well. Again, use my Glyph of Elemental Power and Fire Attunement to keep the burning damage on him. He has a lot of sustain with this build, so I have to put as much damage as I can on him. Using this new build with the additional Condi clears is the only way you can beat a conditioned Necromancer. The other build simply does not have the Condi clear to sustain it. Without that, you just won't beat him. So this build is superior when fighting a conditioned class to the other build. He's getting low here. He has to stay in Death Shroud, but it's almost out. He doesn't have any cooldowns up, and he calls GG right there. Here's a duel versus a Minion Master Necromancer. I was dueling him on Ellie earlier, and I told him that I could beat a Minion Master, and he didn't believe me, so here we are now. He tries to immob me, tries to kite me as much as he can. I'm putting damage on him, but I'm also, whenever I get the chance, trying to cleave his minions as well. Because if I can take the minions out, then he loses everything. He loses damage, survivability, Condi clears. He loses so much when he doesn't have his minions up. So that's what I'm trying to do. Whenever I get the chance, cleave them. But I can't let up pressure on him, because he will do a significant amount of damage as well. Now while I'm kiting, his minions can't hit me very well. As you can see, I was kiting them through the frost field that my minion laid down. And when they can't hit me, he loses a significant amount of his damage, so much so that I can just heal right through it. Here, he's kiting me enough that he makes me pop my Glyph of Elemental Power in Water Attunement, because I need the chills and slows on him. Now his minions are all gone. He doesn't have anything left. He can't cure the Condis, and he's down. In this fight, I have to defend a point against a warrior and soon to be a thief. He enters in a longbow, so I immediately turn on reflection and manage to reflect his pin down. But now he turns on Zerker stance, and I don't have any stability, so I have to kite the warrior, otherwise he's going to stun lock me and kill me. So I'm cutting the warrior around while trying to damage the thief a little bit while I can, but I realize I'm not going to survive unless I turn invincible. So I pop my invulnerability and try and lead them off the point so that they don't decap it, but the warrior won't follow. Now one of my teammates shows up, and he jumps on the warrior, takes his attention, so I'm free to attack the thief. Another player comes in, we down the thief really quick, and I'm about to stomp him out. Now the warrior's left fighting someone else on the point that he's not going to be able to kill. He can't get the thief up in time. He wants to run away, but he realizes he's not going to get anywhere, so he decides to stall and try and stay on the point and hold it for as long as he can. I could have dodged that right there, but it wasn't really going to save me any time. And that's all. Here's a duel against a hybrid grenade engineer. I know he's going to want to start off putting as much damage as he can on me, so I try and avoid damage while letting my conditions eat him up, because he has very little condition removal. Slowly the conditions are getting to him. I do a little bit of power damage here and there, but not that much. Now he feels threatened when he's at low health and I'm stunning him, so he's going to pop his heal skill. While that's on cooldown, I have a great opportunity to kill him. So I pop my invincibility so he can't pressure me and put as much damage as I can onto him really, really fast. And I get him down before his heal skill is off cooldown. So that's the video. I hope you guys learned something about the Elementalist and the way this build works. And I am off of college for the summer, which means I'm going to be putting up a lot more videos. So if you have any requests, post them in the comments of this video, and I will try to address those. See you soon.